Dave here, how are you? Today is the 9th of August 2020 for us in Australia. Let me see, what are we doing? No way, I did this only yesterday with your K3, David. That's a bit of a bummer. Look, today's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I started preparing for the show and I thought I'd cut a piece of ply to the right size. And whilst I was doing that, I was thinking, no, hold on, let me just back it up a little bit. I'll go through that process as well. Because I was looking around for a piece of ply. I thought, oh, I'll do it out of a nice piece of birch, look really clean. And I thought, well, maybe not everyone's got a piece of birch lying around. Maybe they've got some ratty old ply that's around 3/4 of an inch thick that's just sitting there. And you can see over here, that's the piece I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut it out of that first off. Then we're going to work on the size. I've done a little drawing here for you to follow along with. And I'm going to do a regular dog hole pattern, the same as my Stanton bench. The reason being, I'll be able to screw the K5 onto this piece of ply that's got the 4 holes in it, and then drop it onto my bench, drop 4 dogs in it. You can get them from Yellow Box Shed or TSO Products or wherever you want to get dogs from. And I'm going to show you a way to do it extremely regular, so it'll be as accurate, well, not as, but very accurate. Now, is there such a thing as very accurate, or is accurate a word and that's all there is to it? It's accurate or it's not accurate. It's close to being accurate. Let me say that. I'm waffling again. But what we're going to do, as I say, we're going to drill those 4 holes using the PARF GUIDE Mk2. I've got the PARF 1 and the UJK sent the PARF 2 over to me a while back, and I've only just broken it out of the box this morning because I thought, why not? I'll throw it up and I'll show you how to use it. I've learnt myself a little bit. And I'm also going to show you a way right at the end of the show, so hang around, on a way to do that as nearly as accurate as the PARF guide system is using 2 pieces of plywood. So you might want to hang around for that. It's not going to be as accurate, but it's going to be bloody close. All right, let me have a quick read down here. Sounds good? Yes. Good morning. Let's hope the internet behaves this week. Morning, Dave, for BG Thomas from down in Vic. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Sound and video is good. Morning from Tassie. Morning, Dave, from Woodwork and Whiskers. How are you? Kia ora from Ayatoria in New Zealand, where the land of the free now. You're running around and doing whatever you want, I guess, down to level 1s. Victoria number plates, state of disaster. Oh, dearie me. Dave Cash, morning all. David Lair going in this lockdown. I'm not in a lockdown, Matthew. We are doing pretty well up in the mountains. The Blue Mountains, as a matter of fact, has been said as a COVID-safe area again. It's not a hotspot. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is jump over here. I've got an old door that I use as a backing board. I am doing a video on the docking station, my sheet goods docking station. It's in progress of being built, so as I say, just this one, I'm going to use an old door. But I'm trying to do things in this show that pretty much everyone will have. So I'm going to use a belt sander, I'm going to use a trim router, I'm going to use an old piece of ply, and I'm going to use a track saw. But if you don't have a track saw, you can still do good cuts by using an ordinary circular saw with a track guide you can make from plywood and masonite. It does it. All right, let's switch the cameras over here so that we can see what's going on. All right, you can see the board there when I get out of the way. And you can see I use it an awful lot for cutting stuff up. And it's on a bench. So that's just this. The bench underneath is a roll around cart like the lathe cart that I built. This one is for the CNC out there. So I put things on top of this, and here's the piece of ply that I'm going to use. You can see it's pretty ratty. Now, this is 3/4 inch thick flooring ply, and it used to be part of a work surface that I built on a 6-foot by 4-foot trailer. There was 2 of them locked together, and it had a really nice big area. I had a router table built into it, and I had a circular saw mounted upside down as a table saw for when I went to site in my early days. Now, I want to keep the grain going this direction, so I'm going to rip something around about 300 in. I think I'll come in about that far. I am going to use my track saw because I have one, and I'm using the GRS 16PE on it, and also a parallel guide. This is their 30-inch parallel guide with a stop on it. It just makes it easy. You don't have to get these things. These things are for if you just want everything super accurate and you're going to be doing some really nice work for people building wardrobes and things like that. If you're just mucking around in the shed and you're doing some rough work, it's up to you. Do whatever you want. All right. Now I need to measure this out to 300 millimeters. Itchy nose. The reason I'm going to measure it out to 300 is the edge here has still got the groove for a tongue and groove joint. As I say, this used to be ply flooring and it would have a orange nylon or hard plastic tongue, which the two things would join together that way. Now I need to come in 300 because this is going to end up to 50 wide. So I'm just coming into there and I'll set the guide on there. Just rough at this stage and using the track saw, I'll make sure that I've got it hooked up to the Bluetooth. Push this button until it goes blue. Turn it on. There we go. I've set it at around 24 millimeters deep. The little splinter guard on the offcut I've got down. Now when I've done this cut, I'm going to have to go around to the other side and continue pulling the saw through. No, I'm not going to reach. So I'll come around this side and just finish the cut. Beautiful. All right, now I can get rid of the big piece of ply. Basically doing this up on a bench is a whole lot easier than doing it on the floor. You know, I know a lot of people break sheets of plywood on the floor. I like to do it up on a bench, and that's why a door, this is an 820 by 2040 internal hollow core door. They're light, easy to use. I think they cost about $30 to buy a full door, you know, easy. All right, now that I've got that, I'm going to rip it to 250 millimeters. So to do that, I'll bring this stop down to 250, which is there. Now the reason I'm using this 30-inch is because it will let me come out to 600 millimeters. Overall, it'll let me go to 780 millimeters if I want to do a repeat cut. So the stop just drops down. I've already set it. I've done that. Let me cut a square edge first. Nearly stuffed up. Now this is my straight cut. Now I have one. I've got a nice cut here, but I don't know if that cut was actually square. I need to square it off first. It's nearly had a slip. So to do that, I'm just going to flip the flip stop up out of the way and still go there, do this kind of thing, and then do a cut here. And that's going to be square to it. You can do this with an ordinary roofing square, or you can make your own square up to do this kind of stuff if you wanted to. Done. So that's cut. Now I know that's square. This is square here. So I'm going to cut this old part off the side. And I don't have to go the full length, and I'm going to use the stop on it, as I was saying. Bring it across till it touches. Do the little flicky thing again. Cool. Go again. I think I will finish the cut. Only take me a second, then it's out of the way. As I say, I was thinking of just cutting this blank up ready. But where's the fun in that? It's about woodwork, so why not show you the whole process? All right, I need 600 along here, so I'll adjust the guide up to 600. 600 is there. Done. Stop down. I should have really put the smaller track on. I've got the 1400. I should put the 800 on. It'd be a little bit less awkward, but I think we'll be okay. Remember that this is so important, doing that flick. Cool. That is my blank. And I'll bring it over to Carl Cam and we'll just check for square. And I'm going to measure the diagonals. Come past, squeeze past here, suck my guts in. Switch it around. All right, move that out of the way. And that one for the moment. All right. Let's do the measure and see how we go. We're doing fine. It's only 10 minutes in. There's the board. Hook it over there. And I've got 649 millimeters to here. Let's see what I've got on the other side. 649 millimeters. Like, you're not going to get more accurate than that. All right, up to the other camera in front of here so I can see everyone. Quick read. Cutting sheet goods on the floor, I'd never be able to get up. Exactly right, Carl. Why make life hard? Hello from Georgia. G'day, Rick. Let me see, reading. If I get down, I always have to think, where am I? How long am I going to stay here, basically? Let me read. That's why I keep the first day. Kit down there. Finally made it to a live show. Good on you, John. Welcome. Your nurse tells you all the time, does she? Dear. I don't know, David. I don't know why they do that. Sean, hey, Dave, question is, why do you use 5/8 rather than 3/4 melamine for the cabinets? Do you ever use 3/4? It's not readily available in Australia. I don't use MDF. I use particle board melamine. I could get the thicker stuff if I wanted to, but you know, it's heavier. The 16 mil does me just fine. So 5/8 being 16 mil, so everything works. Why make something heavier if I don't need to? Older, no wiser. Hello from Texas, Og Atkinson. How are you? All right, so I have this. I think I'm going to have this side because it looks a little bit cleaner. What do I need to do next? We'll do some measurements. I need to find the center to start and the center line this direction. So I think half of 600, of course, and that's perfectly 600. It's beautiful. Is 300 here. And half of 250 is 125, of course. So that's my center. Now I'm going to come back 192 millimeters from there back here, and 192 this way, because that's multiples of 96 millimeters, which is the European convention. So I'm going to set the tape up at 400 and go this way to there, and this way to there. Now, you might think that's all a little bit strange, but that's where I'm going to put the dog holes. And I'm going to put them centered this way, 96 millimeters either side. I'll get a square. I'll use the big roofing square. It's a little awkward working with plywood that's pretty dark because it's hard to see, basically. So this one doesn't really need to be there, but I will put it there. And this one is 192. And this is basically a starting point for what I'm going to do with the PARF guide. It's going to roughly show me where the holes are going to be. Now, I was going to come back 96 millimeters from the center. So I'm going to do it with a combination square. And there's a lot of people out there that can still, like anyone can use this way of doing it. You don't have to have the PARF guide system. The reason I'm showing the PARF guide system is it's the Mark II, and it's a little bit different to the Mark I. And if you want to build something that's a top, basically the size of the Stanton bench, don't use this way because it's not going to be accurate. If you want accuracy, you need one of those things. But for a little thing like this, you can do this. It's not a problem. So 92, I think it was telling me it's 29 millimeters away from the edge. So I can set this at 29, which is my combination square. And a line there. And a line there. And put a circle on it. And a circle there. Now I don't need to worry about any of the other marks because this thing's going to do the rest. Now if you haven't seen one, this is a PARF stick. It's a piece of stainless steel that's done up as a ruler. It's probably pretty accurate as a rule, but they're not designed to be a rule. Like, don't try and bump it up against the end and think, yeah, it's going to be perfect. It's working on these holes are the main things, and the holes line up with the graduations, not so much the end. All right? All right. Many old internal door that's become New Year's sacrificial cutting surface. Exactly right. Exactly right. Put these things down here. Now, how am I going to start this off? I'm going to drill a 3 millimeter hole here. And I'll show you why. Move the square out of the way. Now, with the PARF guide system, they supply this thing. Now, this is a 3 millimeter drill with a guide and a Centratec fitting at the end. I'll show you the whole thing. See that? This goes inside the bush. Now, they've got these guys here have got a bronze bush down the center, and the drill sits inside of that and turns. Now if you get one of these, they say to put a tiny, tiny bit of oil. I just use baby oil on it because it's going to lubricate it so that it doesn't wear the bush out at all. That's the whole thing about this particular system is it's designed to last a long, 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 long time. People were concerned with the old system that the drill was going through the actual PARF stick and opening the hole up, so you were losing accuracy. We clean the oil off because we don't want the oil on the timber. Okay, good morning, Nathan. And I'll clean it off the back of this as well. It's amazing how much of the oil still stays on there. Put it back in the Centratec chuck. Baltic birch is really nice for draw fronts, not a problem at all. Okay, I'm going to put it in the PARF stick at 0. Again, it's all about accuracy. So it's sitting, well, it was, there you go. It's in that first hole, and I'm going to sit it over that first hole, which is right there. Lovely. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I changed my mind a bit, don't I? I'm going to use this auto punch, and I'm going to put it right on that junction as to where I want to start. Come on. There it is. Got it. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Okay, now I've got that there. I can put this in here, like so. Drop it down. Then put the stick. And the drill should line up on that hole. Come on. There we go. This is only because I want to reference off that one spot. Otherwise, I would have just gone crazy. Here we go. Back over one of the holes in my bench. Drill the hole all the way through. Now, that has left me up the end here with a hole right there. It's a 3mm hole, goes all the way through. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor that PARF stick with one of their pins. This thing here is a 3mm pin with a really comfortable handle on the end. The first model was awkward. Sometimes you have to get pliers on it to pull it out because it was just really, really tight. It's going in there. I'll bring it over closer so you can see it. See that? It's got a 3mm pin with a 6mm section that goes into those 6mm holes. So it holds it nicely. And it does not come through. All right. Now straight away, I can see that my measurements were out. I'll show you when I drill this hole how far out they were. It's quite surprising, really. I'm going to put this here at position 4. There we go, like so. I'll move this out of the way so we can see what's going on. That's going to join us later. Just as long as we're on that hole, on that line, that's what I was after. There we go. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. Because I'm surprised. That's how far out I was. See just here? See the line and see where the hole is? Now that would compound and be massively out over a large distance, as I say. So measuring will work, but it's not going to be accurate. So that's hence this is why I love the PARF guide system. Peter has put an awful lot of time into designing it. Now what we're going to do is we were on the 4th mark then. So now we need to get square, we're going to put 2 sticks in and work with Pythagoras' theorem. And that will give me a right angle. Now, there's a little pin that Peter supplies which goes through 2 thicknesses of the PARF sticks if you want to join them. And it undoes, and it's an interesting thing like so. Joins on like that. Now, I'm not going to use it here at this point. The reason being, I'm going to use a couple of his pins here, and I'm hoping it's going to work. So, you've heard of the 3-4-5 triangle? That's what we're going to use. So I have, on number 4 is my 3, count of 3, remember? So 0, 1, 2, 3, no, it's going to be my 4. I'm an idiot. That's my 4. So I'm going to go 3 this direction. All right. And I'm hoping that I remember how to do it, because it's been a while, because I've been lazy with the CNC. That needs to be 5. Hold on a second. That goes in there perfectly. 5 is going to go this direction. So we'll put it on 5, of course. Yes, that's good. And then 3. Ah, I remember. We don't need the stick in there. Do you know why? Because we've already got the hole. So I'm going to put it in this one. Now this was all intentional. I'm going to put it in there. And hold on a second. Hold on a second. I am kind of stuck here, aren't I? So that's that section. Then I'm going to be going back over to that line there. And this is slightly embarrassing. Use 1 as a diagonal. I am going to, but then I need to also go up this way too. And I want to be able to get my run that direction. I should have watched my video first, shouldn't I? So I can do diagonally the other direction. Pop those down there. Tip this out of the way. Spin this around. Diagonally this way. And this will be my 5. Correct? That direction there. No, I am stumped. I am stumped here. Okay, take out the first one, right? But I've still got to get the distance from here to there. So this is going to be 3 this way. Take that one out, you say? And no. Let's see. Dave, take out the horizontal one. All right, I will. Okay, and then old man, he's kicking in. If finding 3, you need to use 4 and 5. Take out the horizontal line. Use the pins on the base. Use the rule as the 3 and the 5. Okay, so there's my 3. There, and here we go. There. And then I've got my junction over here. Thank you, everyone. Now, lost me in the Pythagoras, just let my 8. Okay, so now what we've got is I've got this pin, and I'm going to put the join, which is this one here, up the end on 3. And it will all make sense. So I'll slide this through from the other side, like so. And this one down here. Okay, am I good? Okay, greetings from Los Angeles Mountain Property. Lucky you weren't here a little earlier, it was very embarrassing. Okay, now we're going to get the guide again, and we're going to put it there, and we're going to drill a hole straight down into there. And that is my other position, perfectly 90 degrees. Ah, dear. So I was just trying to make everyone feel like they were part of the show. Oh dear. As I say, I've been spoilt with the CNC. I haven't done this for ages. But, and I had it all set up this morning. Yep, not a problem. I'll remember all of that. So now I'm going to create the one on the other side here. And so I can spin this one around and put the pin in here. Oh dear. Like so. And the pin back in there. How about we go to CarlCam for this? Might be a little bit easier to follow. All right. 3, 4, 5 never lies. That's a good saying. And then this pin, as I say, this is the pin that's in 2 sections. This one goes from underneath, this one on top. It's just one of those things, you know. I had a moment into there, and that one into there. Now the 3, 4, 5 can also be 6, 8, 10 if you wanted it to. Good recovery, Val. Oh dear. The things we do. All right, that's all locked. That's all locked, which means this one here is going to be perfect. Gotcha. And drill the hole. Done. All right, so we have, you did it to make me feel better. That's not a problem. John, you're all very kind. I haven't unboxed my version guide 1. You had me worried there for a minute. Dear, what do we do? What do we do? I'm sure I'm not the only one to forget, like I'm actually forgetting what to say right now. There we go. We have our 4 holes. And if you look here closely, you can see there's the hole that's accurate. There's my line where I thought was accurate. There's a hole here, which is, you know, nearly on the line. These 2 are pretty good. So I reckon we should now go to the next stage. And that is using this guy. Okay, any bets on how I'm going to stuff this up? Dear. Let me have a quick read. You've got your medication this morning again. Dave was just, yes, of course I was, Brian. Thank you. You're all very kind. Or your 3 by 4 by 5 could be your 15. Yes, of course. There are so many. There's so many. Matt, you didn't miss anything. Not a thing. The show has been just the epitome of great educational content. Let me have a drink. Calm down in the corner. All right. You know, it's one of those times, honestly, being honest about it, I had forgotten. But because I'm live, you guys are watching me trying to rationalize it out at the same time. Now, I'm sure that you'll be doing something which you think is totally basic, and then you'll stop for a second and think, and you'll second guess yourself. Well, I just had a very large second guess. That's all. Might need a few. I'm only going to have 4, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I might need to put some more holes in. I'll get round to that one, fine. I'll get to that one, and I'll get to these ones. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. All right, again, there's the drill, and we need to put a tiny little bit of oil on it. So I've got the rag that I took the other bit of oil off, and that'll be enough. It's going to slide in. Because we're working off the pins at this stage, I need to work. So on the top here, you've got pinholes, pin, pin, and pin. And you've got 2 bushes. Now, the bushes are designed to work with either the pin, this will be the bush, or if I'm working off the hole, this will be the bush that I use. Okay? All right, so I'm going to work off the pin, which means I'm going to pop it into there. And I'm going to put the stop collar on. There's a little stop collar they supply to stop it sliding off, is what Peter says. And they've done it so it's just an ordinary screwdriver now. They did have an Allen key last time. And sometimes it'd be a bit awkward to find an Allen key that was the right diameter and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you learn to do things, and sometimes you learn how not to do things. Well, yes, class. All right. Now I can, in this situation, go there. Now I'm going to just go straight down into that hole. I guess anchoring it in more ways than what I'm doing just now would be better. But I think because the drill has got a spur at the front and it goes down into the hole, I think I'm going to be okay with just this particular cut, or with this particular hole. So That's in there and that's in there. That's pretty tight. Let's try it. Take it off the clutch. Now, what am I going to do next? I'm going to turn it upside down. And I'm going to do some holes from the back so I don't get tear out straight away. Where are we? Gotcha. And gotcha. Beautiful. Put a hole in. That's that one. And we can go into the previous. Yep. Got it. I didn't go down too deep. If I'd gone down too deep, then this would have not registered in the 3mm hole. Here we go. Cool. Where are we? It's very close. There, got it. And this one. And then around to the other side. And I think I have gone too deep in that one. Well, we might be right. There and there. Yep, all good. Tip her up the right way. See, so I've got 4 holes there so I don't get massive tear out on the bottom. Oh, Mark, that's very generous of you. Thank you for that. All right. Now, I'm going to drill this hole all the way down. When it gets in there, come on. Beautiful. And got that one right over that. Done. And this one. That's in the hole there. The pin's in the hole there. Done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of that side of the jig, and I'm going to put one of the stops in. Going to the second hole down here. Okay. Put the stop collar back on. Now this the stop collar can also be used as a depth gauge, and that's what I'm going to set it up for as well. I think I showed that in the previous video I did, and it's about there. Just to brighten things up. Okay, so now the stop collar here is acting like the stop collar on a KREG drill. It's going to stop it going through all the way. Put this in. Beautiful. Take that out. See the little button that came out from the bottom? Nice and clean. Those two at the top, nice and clean. All right, now to do these holes here, I'm going to use those as the reference point with this little thing. Now this is 20mm in the bottom, and I think it's 1 inch at the top. So it will go into that hole there, like so. And I'm going to reference off this hole, which goes over it, like so. Slide this along till I'm on the spot, which it is now, and we drill. this one. Let me read. Sean, I agree. Should have had 2 holes for pins on each leg. That way the spur is much less likely to wander. Yeah, but this spur is a good 3 millimeters down from the point. So you got the point and the taper on the point of it, and then it's 3 mils below that. I don't think it's going to wander once that's got the cutters engaged. It may, but just for this particular thing, well, the proof will be if it fits in the bench. I could have drilled the holes. I could have drilled the extra holes. All right, let's see how we go here. See, the spur's gone all the way down in there. And I'm just positioning it there. So here we go. And it stopped perfectly. There's that little plug, pop it out. There we go, 4 holes. Moment of truth. I'm very brave, aren't I? Moment of truth in front of however many people are still watching. Let's have a look. All right. Got a watch from Carl Cam. Let's see how we go. Some dogs. What have we got? A couple of them. And what other dogs have we got here? A couple of Johns. There we go. Through. First one. 2. There you go. You can't get much more accurate than that. And it's not moving around. So that's going to be our anchor for the KREG jig. It's going to get mounted onto there like that. I can bring it forward if I want to, but we're going to screw that down onto there. But before we do, we're going to make it a little bit people friendly. These holes are so I can hang it up on the wall. How's that? Okay, as I say, this has been made with a CNC, and that was using the PARF Guide system, PARF Guide Mk2, and eventually it worked for me. The system was fine, it was just me. Okay, you can make it as large or as small as you desire. The Stanton bench he's working on is an example of the layout you could have. Should have continued to watch instead of chatting. But I think it's amazing too, it's bloody accurate. You use the PARF Guide to make the bench Dave is working on top of. Yes, if you want to. And as I say, there's another system as well where you just measure and, you know, but the thing is every time you use a tape, something that hasn't had a machine created, punch the holes out, you're going to get that little bit of inaccuracy and you're going to get creep. But for a small thing like this, it'll probably work just fine. And I'll show you, as I say, end of the show. Now, pencil, we're going to make it people friendly. Going to cut the corners off and round them up with the belt sander. And then we'll put the trimmer over the whole thing. And we'll go to Carl Cam again. And we're going to just use my pull saw. Beautiful. And we'll go to the side camera, camera 3. I'll spin it round this way. And you can see what I'm up to. With a Japanese saw, always try and make your cut down from the surface because it's just going to be a whole lot cleaner. so. I'm cutting basically a 45, losing my voice there, cutting a 45 to reduce the bulk for when I do the belt sander on it. Done. Oh, something worked for me. Spin it around back up the other one. Now, this part I'm just going to clamp it on. Yeah, this one probably like so. This one like so. Belt sander. I tend to do this on the cords for machines when I'm stacking them just on a shelf. It works. Always make sure the belt sander's turned off before you plug it in, otherwise it's going to shoot right out there like a missile, like a tank. All right, earmuffs. Might be a little bit loud. Here we go. Turn it on, of course, at the power point. There we go. All right. And the dust bag fell off. Of course, it wanted to join in with everything else that's going wrong. Of course. There we go. Rotate it to the other way. Now, why did I do that? Well, I don't like working back into the grain. I like to kind of flow across rather than tearing back into it. It's just me. So I'm going to turn it upside down. Go to another camera so you can see what's happening. Possibly not that one. Not going to see anything there. This one. Now, even though the marks were gone, I can still follow close enough to where it was supposed to be going. Nice and round. And square. Done. All right. Japanese saws are fantastic. Put the belt sander on its side before powering up. Never will shoot away from you. Correct. Rasp would be quieter. Of course it would. Is there really grain with plywood? On the surface there is. On the surface that you're going to have, yes. This direction. So I don't want it pulling back. See, there's a little bit of tear out just here. Just a little bit. Okay, so next I need to run the round over on it, which is going to be a 1/4 inch trimmer. This one I just release the clamp here and then wind the handle at the back until I'm spot on, which is close, but I need to come back just a touch. There we go. This is a 1/4 inch trimmer with a 1/4 inch round over in it, and making sure that it's turned off. And I will plug this into, I was going to plug it in with a dust extractor, but I'm not going to. Ah dear. I'm going to hold it in position here with this. Actually, I'll hold it about there. I'm going to do half at a time. And there. You may want to turn the sound down a little bit. You're right. Not a problem. Okay, here we go. Off. Release. Spin around. I love this bench. How good is this? I'll go to this other camera. I advertised the show as, yeah, I'll show you how to use the PARF GUIDE Mk2 system, and then rabbit it in the headlights. Once I got going, I was okay. Where'd you get the base plate for the router from? I made it, Russ. This is a piece of 10mm thick, maybe 3/8 acrylic. Or it may even be, I think it was a clear sheet that I got that had some tape over it. I built it years ago. It goes into my bench down the back. Yep, that's exactly right. There is no, there is no keeping score here. Now, we all, well, I'm not going to say you make mistakes, but I know I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I have the benefit when I'm doing videos that are not live, that I can go through it all and make myself look very knowledgeable. Believe me, in real life, that's not the case. Okay, so there we go. We have our top, and I've got a couple of minutes, so I'm going to hit it quickly with the sander. Why not? Before we throw the jig in. And I'll sand it with just the ETS5, should be fine. I'll move this out of the way and bring the dust extractor over. Take that off. It is not the way at all. It's just... there we go. That one there. This one. So that will reinforce for you how to use the Mk2. Remember, get your lines across the bottom, drill all the holes, and then take them out, have your diagonals, and there you go. The Phantom Watcher crowd again. What have we got? We got a heap of people watching, have we? Some paper. I'm going to hit it with just a bit of 80 grit. Hopefully that'll bring it up nicely. Take the 180 off, it'll be a little bit light. I don't know, How many people we got watching? Nothing like being organised. Exactly. All right, here we go. We'll just sand this. Now, this is one of the things about the Stanton bench. It has these anti-slip cushion strips on it. Sound, I should have said. Turn it down a little. The Rotex would have been a bit quicker. It's just taking the rough off it. There we go. Smooth to touch is the main thing I was after. And we're going to position this in the middle. Take this off. I think I've got a drill here ready for... There we go, take that out. Robertson drive. We'll put in there. Move a few things out of the way. It's over there with the screws. I made this fit the Centratec chuck. For those that don't know, the Centratec chuck is a 6mm, not a 6 1/4 mil, or 6.35. So all I did was I filed the flats and I put it in the lathe and I put a triangular file against the edge here to create a notch. So now it goes in my Centratec. Going to put a couple of screws in. We'll back it off to around about 11 on the clutch on this. And I think we're good to go there. I'm using 1 1/4 course KREG screws. The patina makes it look well used. Old is the other thing that makes it look. I'm going to check that we're not going all the way through, and we are not. Beautiful. It was the cushion strip holding onto it. Now also I want to, before anyone goes, there's a couple of things I want to show you. Fix-It Fingers, so James Finger has sent some pictures in of a miter station that he built. And I encourage you to have a look at his website on YouTube. So it's Fix-It Fingers, Fixitfingers. Just do a search, you'll find it. This is good, 12 screws, and it's all locked in. And then, as I say, we have that extra capacity of holding it in position. One more screw to go. Done. All right, there's an hour mucking around, and now I've got a jig that's mounted on a board, and I can put it anywhere I want. Fix-It Fingers, yes. Okay, I'm reading other people's comments. Got to go, people have some drawers to put together. Have a great day. See you later, Matt. So there it is. And now I can hang it up on the wall through that hole there, or any of the holes I want. And then if I put it down on the bench, the good thing about this one is the clamp doesn't go down below the surface. It stays up all the time. I'm working from this side, and let's throw those dogs back in. I'll bring it all the way to the front this time. Done. It ain't going anywhere. How good is that? I'm going to show some pictures. As I said, not a problem. Okay, so we're going to have a look at James's stuff here. This is his docking station that he's building for his Bosch glide saw. He's actually finished it, so we're going to have a look at some photos. He said it was the half lap joint job of the year basically, and there's some of the half lap joints that he was doing, and another picture or two as he's going along. You can see the drawers that he made, and you put the drawer slides in a similar manner to how I do them. And also he's created a T-track dado so that you can put in a T-track and have this fancy stop. Can you see that stop there? And I think we've got a close-up. So basically it's referencing, I'll come back up to the top so you can see what I'm talking about. It's referencing off the tape. That stop is a certain length from the blade, from the saw blade that's actually going to do the cut, transferring that 0 point up until you get to your 0 point on your tape measure, which is way away, so it's nice and safe. So as you move the stop along, so I move the stop up to 15 or 20 millimeters, I've pulled the other end of the stop 15 or 20 millimeters away from the blade, so my cut will be 15 or 20. It's a very easy system, and James took advantage of it. All right, where do I get the KREG screws? I just get them from Carbotech. There's links in the description box down the bottom there. They're all affiliate links. I keep on telling people it's no extra cost to you. The show does get a benefit for it. It pays for my psychiatry sessions after the show where I say, doctor, I got it wrong. I forgot what to do. Don't worry, Dave. Okay, now the other one, Mike also sent some pictures in of his Vestal ASA 6000, I think it is. This is a dust arm that's mounted to the side of his, I'll go to this picture, of his shed. It's a massive thing, and it carries out the compressed air lines and his dust extraction line, everything that he needs out in front over his bench from high up above. Works well. All right, back to the main image. Now I did say I was going to show you, I like this. This is great. It's not going anywhere. Look at that. And it works so easy. As I said, I was going to show you how you can create your own system. If you've got a couple of 3 millimeter drill bits, it's all you need basically. You're replicating the same kind of thing that Peter does. This is if you don't want to make something big. If you want to make something big, get his system. If you want to make something smaller than my bench, this might get you out of strife. So basically, we're going to draw a line down the middle of a piece of 1/4 inch plywood. Straight line. Okay. Now, we can put that there, and we can measure along the plywood using a tape. Alcohol is cheaper. Okay, so the system works on 96 millimeters. So I'm going to start at possibly 100. So I'm going to put a mark at 100, and I'll go to CalCam because this is probably going to be a whole lot easier, but you guys will be able to understand what the hell I'm doing. 100, I'm going to go to 196, and then 292. Basically, it's multiples of 96. Now, I don't want to just go to 92 because I'm going to get what's called creep. Oh, sorry, I don't want to just go 96, 96, 96, 96. So the next one will be 96 from 92, which will be 186. No, sorry, it won't be. It'll be, oh, God. 192 and add on is 8. Okay, so it'll be 88. And the next one will be 6 less than that. Sorry, 4 less than that, of course. So it'll be 84. And that should do us. Now we can test to see that they are 96 apart. If you have a senior's moment. And there, 96. Right on it. 96. All right, now I've got those holes. I'll get a drill. And which one will I use? Well, actually what I'm going to do is use the prick punch, or this little punch here. automatic punch. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got holes along there. I'm going to sneak that back a little. Drill some holes. I don't have to use Peter's drill. I can use any drill that's 3 mil, but I've got his here, so I'll use it. Straight down without moving it. Fingers holding the pressure down always. If you had some double-sided tape, you could stick the 2 pieces together. Okay, so now I have straight line 96 centers, and I can use a 3mm drill as, let me get a couple of these out. Three, and also one from here. They're my pins. So now I can put this through here into that one. And there's my pivot. And so I can do the same kind of thing. I can use these as a very temporary guide to drill holes into a board, and then I can put that and this, so I've got my holes in a board this way. Okay, so I've got my holes in a board this direction. I would have drilled a couple more holes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's basically those 2 are going to give me my square. It's pretty easy. It really is. But look, I thought you might be interested to see another way of doing it yourself without paying out the dollars. If you only had a very small project, this will work. It's not going to be as accurate, but it's going to be pretty bloody close. All right, pesky maths again. Dividers would be more accurate. They probably would be, Michael. What about the morning after? Maths is hard. 1.5 inch screw. Where do you get the spanners from? I don't know what you're talking. Which spanners? I'm not sure. The morning after if you don't stop. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Be nice to each other, and I shall see you next week. Hopefully with no mistakes. See you later. Bye.